This video shows how to handle negative numbers when there's lots of operations to do and you have to do them in the right order. So the basic principle is that I'm going to use is that a positive times a positive is of course a positive. A positive times a negative is a negative, and famously and weirdly, you learn this in primary school, a negative times a negative is a positive. That's the case also with division. So that leads to questions like this. Negative 3 times 4 plus negative 12 divided by negative 6. Now, it's useful in this situation to try and sort out in your head which are the characters that are operations and which are the characters that are not. So operations are symbols that connect things. So this connects that and that, this connects that and that, and this connects that and that. That means that these three dashes are not minuses, they're negatives. They indicate that that's a negative 3, not a 3. That's a negative 12, not a 12. And that's a negative 6, not a 6. With that sorted out in your head, you can now focus on the things that were operations and make sure you do them in the right order. There's a thing from primary school called BODMAS, which you know about, which says that division and multiplication have a higher priority than addition and subtraction. So I'm definitely going to do this or this before that. But which to do? Well, the reason why I write the D over the M is that when you are faced with an addition, a multiplication and a division, just work left to right. So I'm going to do negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Copy the rest out. You have to be patient with this. Now work on the division. Copy the rest out. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 is 2. And now finally you can do the addition. Negative 12, that's way over to the left on the number line. You add 2, it brings it up a little bit closer to 0, a little bit less negative. So you end up at negative 10. I'll give you another example. Negative 3 times 5 take away negative 2 times 4. I said times there because remember the moment you learned about algebra, you learnt that you can leave a symbol out and it will mean multiplication. So what do we got here? Well, BODMAS, the B says you should do what's in the brackets first. So I'm going to handle the brackets first. Just copy down the 3. But what's in the brackets is complicated, so I'm not going to completely work it out initially. I'm just going to tidy it up a bit. Well, I've got fair few symbols. Only 2 of the symbols are operations. That's a multiplication. That's between the negative 2 and the 4. That's a subtraction. That's between the 5 and this business. So of these 2 operations, which should I do first? First do the multiplication. Just copy down the rest. Negative 2 times 8. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Now, copy down the 3. 5 take away negative 8. 5's over to the right on the number line. You see a minus, you think you're going to be going down, but because then when you ask how far do you go down by, you see that you're supposed to go down by negative 8. That's a clue that you should not go down, you should go up. If you start at 5 and go up by 8, you get to 13. And so now finally we do negative 3 times 13, which is negative 39. So that's how to handle negative numbers in the correct order of operations. The takeaway advice that I'm giving you is try and sort at the start the difference between the characters that are operations that are combining 2 things and the characters that are either numbers, brackets, or dashes to indicate that you're talking about a negative number compared with a positive number. I'll just do one final example for you. Negative 8 plus negative 5 plus negative 3 times negative 2 plus 7 divided by negative 1. Okay, well, what are my operations? That fella, that fella, that fella, and that fella. So, highest priority is the multiplication and the division. Just work left to right with those. So negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. Copy the rest out. You have to be patient with this, willing to use a bit of ink. Now I'm going to do 7 divided by negative 1. That is negative 7. Now I just have 3 pluses. Just work left to right. Negative 8 plus negative 5. Start at negative 8. You see a plus, you think you're going up, but how much by? Negative 5, so don't go up, go down. End up at negative 13. Copy the rest out. Negative 13, that's very low on the number line. You see a plus, you think you're going to be going up. How much by? 6. So you do go up by 6. You end up at negative 7. Negative 7 is way to the left on the number line. See a plus, think you're going up, but how much by? Negative 7. So don't go up, go down. Start at negative 7, go down by 7, you get even more negative. So that's the final answer.